So minutes to kick off here at the Shea on an absolutely glorious summer's afternoon for Halifax. Now in third after their victory over York on Monday night. But losing players for next week in the process. 5 Halifax players under suspensions by the disciplinary. And Halifax have had to make changes this week. Simon Griggs deciding to rest one or two of his players, Daniel Murray, Adam Tangata. Ben Kavanagh has missed out due to the HIA, failed his test. That's a mandatory 10-day rest. Some changes abound for Simon Griggs, who looks for a 14th win for his Halifax team against Workington Town, who've only won once this season and have on 5 or 6 occasions conceded lots of points without scoring any in return. And Chris Thorman doing it rough, and Simon Griggs had his interview during the week, trying to get people to move up to Workington's not easy. Got one or two talented players, no doubt about it. Oscar Thomas, who started with London Broncos. Glenn Riley moved back recently. He's a former London man, but still only that one win. And Halifax march on, just that defeat to Lee. Their most recent in the last 13 games. James Woodburn Hall, another player to sign a new 2-year deal this week. He's at fullback. Lachlan Walmsley, who just can't stop scoring. On one wing, James Saltonstall on the other. Zach McComb and Joe Rundle are the centres. Louis Jouffre and Joe Keys at half-back, building a really well-organised partnership in the house for Halifax. Will Colcott, Brandon Moore, Nathan Mason back from Huddersfield on dual registration for this afternoon. Ed Barber, who announces retirement from the end of this season in the second row. Matt Garside has returned. It's been unlucky a bit for Matt Garside because he didn't really do anything wrong. He's been out to Dewsbury, so he's match fit. And you always know what you're going to get from Matt Garside. Matty G locks up the scrum. Kyle Wood, Jacob Fairbank, Kevin Leroy and Fenton Rogers, another dual register player from Huddersfield, making up the Halifax replacements. For Workington, it's Oscar Thomas at fullback, Alice Young and Alex Cleggs the wingers, Joseph Brown and Curtis Tier are the centres. Matty Henson and Kieran Walker are the halves. Jack Bibbett, Evan Simons, Jordan Thompson in the front row. Connor Fitzsimmons, Kane Barnes the second row. And Jamie Durant moves from standoff position to the lock forward position to allow Henson in at half back. Connor Davis, former Halifax player of course, the first of the Workington replacements. Marcus O'Brien, Steve Scholl is returned after 13 months out with injury to force his way back into the side, and John Hutchins making up the replacements. Curtis Davis, of course, Connor's twin brother, also with Workington, but has just gone out for a month's loan to Whitehaven to try and get some game time. He's had some at Workington, but would like some more. And so Greg Worthington, Titus Guaze almost also missing. And Greg Worthington's birthday today. We're hoping to help the celebrations after the game with a win over Workington. Halifax preparing to kick off with Joe Keys. High and lofted, and Halifax are up to meet the first run out of defence by Workington on the 10-metre line. Workington playing in white with green and yellow. Looks more like a Hunslet replacement kit than a Workington, traditionally known for the blue and white kit, as they get up to the 30-metre line. Well played by Curtis Tier inside. Well, they got over the 40, done a pretty good job so far bringing the ball back of Workington. Now across the field, Duran drops the shoulder, runs into 3 defenders. Evan Simons going on his own, getting over halfway. Kieran Walker gets the ball away, working to bring it back to this near side. And then go route 1 down the middle, but don't find any way through. They're getting some good sets and good attacks towards the Halifax line. Oscar Thomas gets a good pass away to Joseph Brown. Brown put down on the 10-metre line. Last tackle, says the referee, so back-to-back sets for Workington in the first couple of minutes of the game as they look to swing it out left, and there's a chance here. It's got the ball away. And trying to show the football skills there, Connor Fitzsimmons, to try and get the ball back for Workington, but it had gone forward, said the referee, so Halifax will begin their first set from just inside their own 10 as Garside hits up to the first tackle. Zach McComb with a step before the defenders, and once again play the ball quickly. Evan Simons trying to slow him down, and that's a great drive from Colcott, and the referee has seen a head-high tackle on Will Colcott, so Halifax will get the first penalty, which Keys dispatches into touch on the far side of the field. And Halifax began on halfway. Short play down the blind side takes them 15 metres inside the Workington half. Mason making these defenders work. It's a really hot afternoon, and Joe Keys takes a tackle, gets up, plays it quickly. Brandon Moore looking for runners, finds Jouffre, finds Woodburn Hall, and Woodburn Hall through the dummy, went on his own, couldn't quite get through the defence, but has got to within a metre of the Workington line. Jouffre to Keys. Matty G will run it back into the heavy defence in the Workington line, 10 metres out from the post. Jouffre gets it away to Garside, and well, Garside looked like he'd taken a high one, but the referee doesn't see anything wrong with it. Well, it's signalled a turnover. Halifax were putting the pressure on. Perhaps should have come a little bit more with come away with a little bit more then. Well, the elbow of the defender was over the shoulder of Garside, but not high enough to be illegal, as Workington tried to bring the ball away again. Well, they showed what they're capable of in those back-to-back sets of 6, and they're looking to do the same again, driving the ball hard into the Halifax defensive line. There's Connor Fitzsimmons. Oh, poor pass there from Oscar Thomas. Well, usually the weaker side passing to the right hand side for most players, and an early kick pushes Woodburn Hall back, and that will be a 40-20 to Workington. Got the look of the bounce as it came down, so they're looking to take a quick tap. Referee stopping Thomas. Jack Bibbett, another recent recruit for Workington, and his coach Chris Thorman Evan Simons gets it away to Durant. Oscar Thomas gets the drop-off ball back inside. That'll be a good start for Workington if they could get over here. Durant, short ball. Probably not the best to Jack Bibby, but Bibby disappears under 3 Halifax players. Evan Simons gets it away. And Halifax defence is tested by Kieran Walker. And Halifax managed to keep the line intact as Fitzsimmons tries to hustle his way over the Halifax line, but not big enough to get over. And that one will sail out over the dead ball line. Too much on that. 2 Workington attackers chasing the ball, but the kick was far too strong to cause Halifax any problems. As Halifax will come back and restart on the 20 with Saltonstall. Making 10 metres, tackled by 3 Workington defenders. Joe Keys quick to get it off. And Ed Barber turning back inside. Brandon Moore, Mason again, and that Mason pushed the first defender back. Route 1 up the middle. Jouffre gets it back to Matty G. G shrugs away the first attempted defender who gets him with help. Evan Simons helped by Jordan Thompson. Halifax still looking for the first breakthrough. 8 minutes gone in the first half. Joe Keys to Colcott. Workington down to 12 men. They've 1 man down on the ground being attended to. Last tackle. Joe Keys to Ed Barber. Barber looking for support. Walmsley gets it up. That's a clever flick from Walmsley to Joe Keys, and Halifax in for the first try. You can almost sense the distress in the Workington defence at letting that first try in there. And could it be another woeful afternoon for them as Ed Barber managed to offload in the tackle. Walmsley somehow, like Barber, managed to get the ball away at an almost horizontal position, and Joe Keys goes in. Halifax's first try. And Joe Keys, who was given the player of the match on Monday against York, goes over for Halifax. Well, there's an inquiry going on in the Workington in-goal area. Well, with the, not surprisingly, bottom of the table, the worst defence in the Championship. That's 721 points they've conceded in the Championship alone this season. As Keys converts his own try to make it 6-0. Well, Halifax responding to that early pressure that was put on by Workington. They've had the share of the game in the first 8 or 9 minutes of Workington. Unfortunately, no reward for their efforts, but Halifax made it count when they got to the other end. G running out of defence. Brandon Moore gets it to Matt Garside, and Garside pumping the legs up towards halfway. Woodburn Hall to Mason. Looked like Fitzsimmons might have been a little bit high there, but got away with it. Joe Keys puts the kick in. Test Oscar Thomas, that could stand up in the in-goal area, and it has done. And Lachlan Walmsley was close to getting that to that ball before Oscar Thomas then. Well, Thomas playing a dangerous game. It was a perfect kick by Keys that bounced up in the in-goal area. Looked like it might have been going out of play at first, but Halifax are trying to keep Workington in their own quarter of the field. Kane Barnes brings it out of the 20. Oscar Thomas. Last tackle. Halifax have done well there. Workington just over the 30-metre line. It'll be back to Walker for another kick. But the Halifax back three have dropped back. And ultimately into pass between Walmsley, Woodburn Hall and Saltonstall, who's brought down just short of the 30-metre line. Jouffre to Lachlan Walmsley, but the defence offside again. And Halifax will begin the attack in the Workington half on the 30-metre line. Matty G first. Will try and shrug off the defenders. Might be more successful. There only been one there, but Evan Simons coming in as the second man. Colcott driving forward. Halifax now 11 metres away. Brandon Moore to Keys. Nathan Mason will drive the ball forward, and Workington having a lot of work to do to try and put the big forward down. I think the referee just signalled another 6 tackles as the ball goes back to Macomb, and Halifax were given an opportunity as the referee wiped the slate clean, and they managed to lose the ball. Well, you wouldn't expect many drop balls on a day like today. There's an error from Halifax. Puts them back in defensive mode. And number 5, Alex Young, probably the tallest man on the Workington side. He's the winger. Quick play of the ball. Evan Simons kicks through the centre, hoping to get the same success with the ball in the in-goal area. Well, he does, but Walmsley is unopposed as he gets the ball back to the 10-metre line before being tackled with a big charge from the defence. Possibly looked like a shoulder charge, that one. Jouffre, Saltonstall looking for a way around the outside of that Workington defence. Macomb gets to the 40-metre line. Garside trying to get the legs pumping again. Gets up to halfway. Brandon Moore, Jouffre, good ball out to Macomb, who kicks. And that one behind. Oscar Thomas Young retreats to collect it. Well, I'm not quite sure why the kick, but it's had pushed Workington back until Halifax was spotted offside by the referee. And a penalty awarded to Workington. Halifax with a 6-0 lead. And I suppose it's difficult to build yourself up to the same intensity that Halifax showed against York when you're playing a team that's only won one game this season and look like they'll be heading back into the Championship 1 next season. Unless there's some miracle that Workington can perform. Well, they might perform on here. They're getting close to the line. Thomas gets the ball out, but that's Arundel with a great tackle on that far side. with Walmsley. On the Halifax 20 metre line, Walker goes on his own, tracks 3 defenders, we're quickly up and back into line. Duran gets it away, Thomas gets it out, there's chances here for Workington, but the ball in desperation from Curtis Tier, and Henson, the standoff, is trying to claim there was a Halifax hand knocking that ball on there, but waved away by the referee. And that looked promising for Workington, attacking this right hand Halifax defence. And Workington playing a little bit of desperation rugby, trying to get the ball out. Halifax stacking the men on the left hand side. Woodburn Hall tackled by Alex Young. Walmsley shows the ball, sets off on his own, gets up to the 30 metre line. He's met by 2 Workington defenders. Mason might be a bit, well, I thought it might have been a bit harder to stop, but he's put down the 40 metre line. Brandon Moore gets it to Colcott, and Colcott takes Halifax back into the Workington half of the field. Brandon Moore goes left, right, then left again, and Joe Keys might have found himself a gap there, but the Workington defence recover quickly enough to bring him down. Last tackle, Jouffre puts the ball in the air, testing Oscar Thomas again, and Thomas thought he had his foot in the in-goal area there, but he was at least 10 or 12 inches into the field of play when he took the ball, and took the tackle, which was deemed illegal by the referee. They give the penalty an even score of 2 apiece. Well, that's a couple for head-high tackles now, so I wonder if they'll pour over this one through the week to find some more suspensions. Interesting, with no red cards, no yellow cards, not even anything on report from the referee on Monday night, but Halifax have 5 players banned, and Halifax give away another penalty. I think it's Matty G put his arm in there, ripping the ball out. Well, a bit of ill discipline creeping into Halifax's game as Walker puts the ball into touch. Duran takes the pass from Henson. Evan Simon moves in. Well, that's a pass that only just reached its intended target of Jordan Thompson. He did well to collect it. Oscar Thomas is prowling around as an extra standoff. I think he started his career as a standoff in London. Played there for Bradford as well as Duran. Well, tried the step, tried to go forward, managed to get the pass away, but Halifax need to be alert as Walker goes for the 4-pointer. Halifax managed to hold him up. Where did it come in this time? Thomas gets the pass away to Curtis Tier, and Curtis Tier is put down 2 metres away from the Halifax line. Last tackle, and another penalty to Workington. Well, Halifax supporters seem to think that Curtis Tier lost that ball rather than had it ripped from him. And Henson tried a sneaky one but was pulled back by the referee. As Thompson drives forward, more tests of this goal line. Halifax defence. Durant gets the ball out to Oscar Thomas. Thomas elects to kick over the top. The big winger Alex Young comes down with the ball, but the referee is claiming giving an offside against Halifax. Well, Workington being given plenty of opportunities near the Halifax line. Can they make anything of it this time? Thompson. Goes close but not close enough. Out to Walker. Walker gets smashed and wrapped up by Garside 3 metres out. Fitzsimmons gets the ball down. Well, they've had 3 sets of 6 to be able to do that, and the Workington fans away to the left hand side in the south stand have absolutely gone ballistic at that, celebrating as much as the players themselves have. On about 22 minutes, Workington finally managed to get over the line with the assistance, you might say, of the 3 penalties that kept them in the danger zone. Penalties quickly mounting against Halifax, 5-2. And Thomas converts the try. And the referee coming in for a verbal assault from the fans of Halifax. Halifax are making changes. Kick to the in-goal area. Working to bring it out of their own red zone again. The ball is a loose pass. No gain from Workington on the loose ball. Well, looks like Fitzsimmons again is driving the ball forward. Halifax having a few problems with him. Another downtown kick as Walmsley goes back for it. There's a lot of Workington shirts in front of him, not a lot that Walmsley can do. He'll have to take the tackle 19 metres out from the Halifax line. Saltonstall running into a line that was a metre offside from the play of the ball. Fairbank with a lot of heavy strapping around the head. There's a big clash between him and one of the York players on Monday night. Laroya on for Nathan Mason and Will Colcott. Jacob Fairbank and Kevin Laroya. Brandon Moore busy around the middle of the park trying to turn the Workington defence inside out as he gets over halfway and the referee signals the last tackle again. Back to Joe Keys. Well, Oscar Thomas under no real pressure from that kick. Halifax defence allowing him to take the ball, but Thomas making more metres than he probably should have done there. Young comes inside and gets tackled by Brandon Moore and Matty G, 30 metres out from the Workington line, 15 metres away from halfway. 6 points all. 25 minutes gone in this first half. It's no team has shown absolute domination. Well, that's got that on the appeal of the Workington players, I think. So we're back in the Halifax half. Same old story. Workington get a penalty. And another opportunity as Walker puts the ball into touch. Workington will start from the 10-metre line. Curtis Tia gives it inside to Simons. On to Henson. Henson on to Marcus O'Brien, who's come on for the Workington side. Jack Bibby trying to force his way through again. Power his way through, unable to. Fitzsimmons takes that one, but the Halifax defence were waiting for him. Fitzsimmons falls eventually. Evan Simons. And Halifax defence tested again. In fact, that's Fitzsimmons that's run the ball up. There's a little kick in behind. Who's there first? Joe Keys, just to settle things down, put the ball out of play. Halifax managed with one set of 6 to defuse the situation for now, but Workington will get the possession back from the drop out under the post. Kick gets to halfway. Thomas puts it into the hands of Marcus O'Brien. But Halifax with a good chase away from the line. Steve Scully on for Workington, long way back from injury. I think he's been out about 13 months as Scully. Managed to get his way back into the team. Here comes Fitzsimmons. Well, another notable Hughes Cumbrian forward. Simons gets the ball away to Durant, turns it back inside to Thomas, and Thomas is stopped right on the line, so Halifax have one more tackle. Simons trying to go on his own, and that ball will go out of play. And Halifax will get a 20-metre tap, which Woodburn Hall will give to Saltonstall, and Saltonstall gets to the 40, while Workington defence is still coming back to get onside. The ball back inside to Fairbank, puts it out, and Halifax put it down in a haste to keep it alive. Well, you should always be aware that Fairbank will try and get the ball out if he gets the opportunity, and he had the advantage there, got it out. There were two players went for it, Laroya and Woodburn Hall, and without a call, both players messed up picking up the ball, and Halifax lost possession again. Matty G is off the field. Scully driving forward. Well, he's got the offload away. Evan Simons looking to get the offload away. And we'll give a knock on and a play on as Jouffre tries to get through the Workington defence. Halifax not really set to attack there. And well, penalties being given. There were two men in on the tackle on Louis Jouffre. Ball put into touch just inside the Workington half. It's 6 points all, 10 minutes to go. Kyle Wood on the field for Halifax now, and that looked like a late swinging arm from Scully. Managed to get away with it. Ed Barber into the Workington defence, who are still motivated with a 6-6 scoreline. Kyle Wood to Brandon Moore, not the best of passes, but Halifax managed to keep hold of it. Garside, 2 steps. Garside away to Fairbank, back for the return. Kyle Wood, Joe Keys gets it away, and Ed Barber. Can he get the ball down? The answer no. But Halifax threatening to score there. Fairbank might go here. Garside. And Garside earns his reward for that stepping run in the build-up to that attack for Halifax in a previous play that saw Barber go very close to the line. But Matt Garside's run with 3 side steps and beating 3 defenders was on hand to take the pass and go over from short metre, 2 metres away from the try line. There was an attempted tackle, but Garside was too near the line to stop, and Halifax have the lead back at 10 points to 6. There's so many changes, there's bound to be a little bit of time for the players to get together, and the indications are with the passing there that that's starting to work now. And the support play from Matt Garside, first class, as he took the ball over at the side of the post to leave Joe Keys what should be a simple kick. Garside scoring on his return from being on loan from Dewsbury. And Joe Keys on target again, 2 out of 2. And Halifax have reinstalled the 6-point lead. Well, Jamie Durant has left the field for Workington. I think it's John Hutchins that's come on with the red head guard on. So Thomas will kick off eventually. Jouffre, the caller for the ball this time, as Leroy charges it 15 metres back on a good kick return. Fairbank into Hutchins. Another penalty for Halifax. Well, there's a Workington player there with a number 30 on his back, but there's not one on the team sheet with a number 30 on. As Halifax look to try and increase their lead before half time, which is 6.5 minutes away. Leroy takes Halifax to the 20 metre line. The Workington half of the field. Joe Keys, great ball to Ed Barber. Surely Barber's in for a second. Oscar Thomas, well, he wasn't going to get near him, but I don't think he would have been strong enough anyway had he got near Ed Barber. Leroy's run to the 20 metre line. Kyle Wood looking all round for see what the options were, and Joe Keys with a short ball, and Ed Barber beating Oscar Thomas to the line. And 5 minutes to go to half time. So 2 tries in a minute for Halifax. 5 tries for the season for Ed Barber. Joe Keys looking at his 67th goal of the season if it's successful. Wants to make it. Well, he's giving it plenty of height and plenty of distance, but unfortunately off target for Joe Keys. He's on 66 goals. He's got 8 tries as well. And the last one of those was the first one this afternoon. And Workington, well, at pedestrian pace to get back for the kick-off. Halifax 10-point lead. Pours more pressure on Workington. Thomas's kick. It's taken this time by Woodburn Hall. Gives it to Fairbank, and Fairbank will charge it out of defence. Again, Halifax managing to make big metres on the kick return. This time 18 metres. Walmsley. It's tackled by Hutchins as he tried to step back inside, and Hutchins not making any effort to get off Walmsley as he tried to play the ball. Kyle Wood throws the dummy, gets over the 40 and gets a quick play of the ball. Woodburn Hall has got through 2 defenders. Woodburn Hall with Oscar Thomas to beat. Could be teammates in the Jamaican World Cup team at the end of the season. Matt Garside looking for a second. And, well, still causing problems for this Workington defence, who have struggled to put him down. It's the last tackle. Halifax 10 metres away. Jules Frey will go for the crossfield kick here for Walmsley, and that's well taken by Young, but nowhere for Alex Young to go. The defence was immediate from Halifax, and Ed Barber, who's there again with Jacob Fairbank and Joe Keys to make another tackle on the Workington 20 metre line. Oscar Thomas, well, I'm not sure whether he intended to pass that or lost it as he spun round, but the ball came away from Thomas, and Workington were able to make an extra 8 or 9 metres. Good offload, back over halfway. So I'm not sure if number 30 might be Connor Davis. Doesn't look like him, but we'll make some inquiries about that. Walker kicks over the top. Walmsley gets the ball one-handed and gets tackled by Walker. Well, that's a good case for offside if ever I've seen one. But the referee had wiped down the tackle count, but then saw the high tackle on Walmsley. Sorry, on Saltonstall. And blew immediately for a penalty for Halifax, which Joe Keys has managed to put into touch 5 metres short of halfway. Arundel, less than 2 minutes on the clock. Halifax with a 10-point lead, by no means convincing, but Slums in the lead. Simon Grits will be happy. Halifax supporters won't, so we're probably expecting a big score today. Well, there could be another on the cards here as Walmsley comes back inside off the pass from Arundel, and that's looked like a dangerous tackle. Well, another one going unpunished, and Workington have been pinned for the offside. So remarkably, it's 6 apiece in the penalty count, but that previous tackle going unpunished. Fairbanks to Leroya. Halifax 8 metres away. Runners all over the park. Jouffre to Barber, looking for a second. He might get it as well, but it's just brought down short of the line by the Workington defence. Well, it's getting away with quite a few slowing down tactics of Workington. Joe Keys stopped this time as he headed towards the Workington line. Brandon Moore, Jouffre, good ball, Garside steps out of one tackle, looked for the pass, got it away eventually. Brandon Moore has picked it up. Looked like could have been an intercept there. Joe Keys tackled again. Halifax will seem to be panicked to get one before half time, and Joe Arundel will get one on the hooter. Well, they were determined to keep the ball alive. Garside initially out to Brandon Moore, and Joe Keys tackled by two. Got unplayed the ball, and it was Ed Barber that supplied for Joe Arundel. Being wrestled and tussled by the Workington defence, but they couldn't stop Joe Arundel going over and extending the Halifax score right on half time. Extends the lead to Halifax 20, Workington 6. Joe Keys opening the scoring for Halifax on 8 minutes, converting his own try to make it 6-0, but then 3 penalties on the bounce gave Workington the momentum and opportunity they needed to go over, with Fitzsimmons crashing through and Thomas converting to make it 6 points all. Halifax hitting back then with 2 tries in a minute from Matt Garside, who started the move with a good stepping run, finished it off with a try to make it 10-6. Keys made it 12-6. Ed Barber then went over to make it 16-6, and Joe Arundel, supplied by the previous try scorer Ed Barber, crashes over right on half time, and Keys converts, and it looks a little bit more healthy now for Halifax. So it looks like Halifax are on the way to another 2 league points. Currently sharing 3rd place with Batley Bulldogs. Will be the opponents in 2 weeks' time at the Shea. In between that, it's London away for 3 weeks' time. London away, and then Bradford in the summer bash at Headingley. Bradford season got a bit worse yesterday, losing at home to the London Broncos. Of course, Halifax still have Featherstone to play at home yet, I think, in the league. But the concentration today should be on beating Workington Town. Well, Connor Davis is the number 30 for Workington, although he's down as 31 on the team sheet. Workington will get the second half underway. And be fair to say, they did alright in patches in the first half. Just that one try to show for their efforts, but and on the back of 3 penalties in the Halifax quarter, there was always a chance there, but Halifax immediately throwing the ball back to centre field in their own red zone from the kick-off. Fairbanks is the man that takes the tackle. Leroya into Hutchins initially. And supporting defence from Brown and Davis. And Davis there again. With Marcus O'Brien making the tackle. And Joseph Brown and Davis is there again, busying himself around where the ball is going. Joe Keys to Woodburn Hall. Arundel went through the gap but didn't get the ball with him. Jouffre, looks like there's options on that far side. Jouffre comes back inside, then goes outside, and Matt Garside comes back inside, and Garside charging towards the post. He's brought down 16 metres out from the Workington line, and Joe Keys puts it on the boot. Alex Young takes the ball and takes the tackle of Joe Arundel on the line. Oscar Thomas. Well, defence from Halifax trying to take Thomas back towards the line, but he went down quickly. And number 14, Marcus O'Brien, too big to be pushed back as well, but Workington running out of tackles, still in their own red zone. And Halifax chasing every Workington man that receives a ball. Henson goes down this time. And the tackles of McComb and Garside. Hutchins spins past Brandon Moore. Moore goes in for a second attempt, and Halifax have kept Workington in their own red zone for the 5 tackles, and Garside chasing that, but the kick was got away by Walker. Saltonstall will bring it back, and it's over halfway, and Saltonstall eventually dragged to the ground by the Workington defence. McComb. Good run by Zach McComb with defenders around him, takes him to the Workington 30 metre line. Halifax trying to pile on the pressure in the opening minutes with Fairbank edging closer towards that Workington line. Jouffre gives it to Garside, and Garside threatening again to come out of the tackle. Workington putting 3 defenders on him to make sure he can't take any advantage. Kyle Wood from acting half to Fairbanks, away to Leroya. Leroya just too late there, getting there, Jake Fairbank. Kick through from Keys, and Keys has got his second. Nothing Alex Young could do about that, because there were 6 Halifax players chasing that ball. The kick through from Keys, and I think the 5 that were with him left it for the glory of Joe Keys to touch down. They seem to pull back, and Keys on 3.5 minutes into the second half extends the Halifax lead. And I think Simon Griggs and Halifax supporters will be hoping that Halifax can stamp their domination on this game in the second half, show their assertion as they have done in scoring that try, and rattling up the points in the second half. Workington will probably be thinking, here we go again. Well, it's difficult to pick a team up who's only had 1 win all season, and it doesn't look like they're going to get the second of the season here as Keys lines up the short goal. And Keys puts over another conversion to his own try. So game restart with another deep kick, which Woodburn Hall takes. A long pass inside to Fairbanks. Fairbanks brings it back 18 metres out from the Halifax line, and Halifax have more runners waiting to carry the ball up. Leroya into a 3. Temperatures hovering around the 30 degrees mark this afternoon. Jouffre gets it away to McComb, and McComb's almost through. Well, he got through the first tackle. Workington had to hustle in defence to get Macomb down. Fairbank again, second run. This time takes him 3 metres into the Workington half of the field. Joe Keys to Ed Barber. Barber gets it away to Woodburn Hall. Hat trick for Joe Keys, and this now is going to surely be a cricket score the way this is going in the second half. Well, that takes Joe Keys into double figures for the season. The third Halifax player after Lachlan Walmsley and Ben Tibbs, who's also rested this afternoon. Tibbs scoring for fun, 10 tries in 10 games. Joe Keys makes it 10 tries in 20 games, 3 of them this afternoon. Totally dominant performance now by Halifax. He wouldn't bet against them reaching 40 points again. You have to take your hat off to the working supporters. Working supporters have only seen one win this season, and yet still get on a coach for a 3-hour journey down the M6 Halifax to watch what is turning out to be another dismal afternoon for the team from West Cumbria, as Joe Keys adds another 2 points. Halifax 34, Workington 6, and really it's scoring at will in the first 6 or 7 minutes. And Brandon Moore taking a breather. Fenton Rogers on dual registration from Huddersfield comes on. So a penalty from halfway, the ball kicked directly out over the dead ball line, sees Halifax back on the Workington 30 metre line. Joe Arundel drives the ball up to the 20 metre line and stays on his feet as long as he can, driving his way backwards towards that Workington line. Kyle Wood to Joe Keys. Joe Keys to Fenton Rogers. First touch of the ball. Strong drive towards the line. Joe Keys, will he go again? Well, there may be more tries in this match for Joe Keys, the way things are going. Kyle Wood showed the ball to Ed Barber, then drove to the line and was brought down just inches short of another Halifax try. Barber gets it away. Halifax pouring forward on that far side. Macomb tries slip it out one-handed. Garside manages to stay in place. Woodburn Hall takes the pass, gets it away to Jouffre, and that's where it ends. There won't be another pass. It's the last tackle. Halifax throwing the ball about like they're chasing the game, and that one will come back. 6 more tackles. Halifax able to put the pressure on this Workington defence again. Woodburn Hall starts the build up with the first run towards the Workington line. Leroy charging through the defence. Hutchins missed him the first time, didn't miss the second, and the referee has decided it's going to be a Halifax penalty. Well, there's plenty of pressure on. They're going to take the 2 points at 34-6 surely. Rogers again, and Rogers. Another penalty. Trying to steal the ball. That might have been the quickest debut try ever. If Rogers had gone there, he'd only been on the field 2 minutes. Fairbank. Oh, what a try. Powerful stuff from Fairbank. Well, Rogers went close, but Fairbank shows how it's done. Gets the ball under his arm and drives through 3 defenders to get the ball down. Well, another 4 points, and you fear for Workington at this stage. And the noise be coming out of the south stand again. Halifax fans getting behind their team. And Joe Keys will try and add another 2 points on to edge Halifax closer to that 40 points. $38 points. Oh, maths wrong again. They've hit the 40 now with that conversion from Keys. Well, how many more can they get in the time that remains? There's only 12 minutes gone in the first half. Halifax are scoring at more than a point a minute at the way it's going at the moment. Jouffre underneath, inside 2, Kevin Leroyer, and Leroyer. Well, Hutchins is there again. Saltonstall takes the ball up, and Workington trying to slow it down. Walmsley looked around again. He looked the first time for the support. There was nobody there at the second time when he looked either. Arundel gets over halfway. That's a good drive. Second 3 defenders and still going forward. Kyle Wood short side, Joe Keys looking for a way through the defence, attracting 3 defenders. Last tackle. Jouffre, Rogers going through as a bit of protection for him as Oscar Thomas, Halifax defenders, umbrella in round in defence, putting pressure on, but Thomas takes it. Alex Young takes a big hit from the Halifax defence. Alex Clegg. Didn't see too much of this winger in the first half. Jordan Thompson manages to get the ball away to Joseph Brown, and Brown passes it on. Well, you might see Clegg on this occasion, but the ball is not going to get to him. But Workington almost up to halfway. Well, maybe not giving up yet, and trying to put some a little bit of pride into their performance as Brown gets it back to Walker, who didn't really expect it and almost stepped out of the tackle of Kyle Wood there, but Wood managing to hold on. Thomas. Pressure from Rogers. Well, it's a good take by Clegg. Unfortunately, there was a man in front of him, Louis Jouffre, and James Saltonstall there as well. So last tackle speculator kick from Walker. It turned over to Halifax as McComb managed to get the ball away to Jouffre. He escapes the first defender. Jouffre going across the field, and Jouffre, tremendous run. Davis stops him with help from Thompson. Woodburn Hall to Barber, and Barber gets over halfway. I think Wormley were expecting the pass then. Rogers in the thick of it and being lifted from the ground, but still managing when he got back down to make a couple of metres with 3 defenders round him. Joe Keys, Woodburn Hall, no look pass, Walmsley for the corner. Oh, another dive by Walmsley. Was there some foul play there? Walmsley's left on the floor, needing attention. Oscar Thomas is having a look to see if he's alright. Well, Walmsley taken out as he flew horizontally towards the line. The last thing Halifax could do without is Lachlan Walmsley, even though he hasn't scored today yet. Play quite rightly being held up. Till Alex Wormley has been tended to and passes okay. It was a big hit from Oscar Thomas that sent Walmsley flying to the ground as he was reaching out to get the ball down for another try. Well, this is not looking too good at the moment with Walmsley still down on the ground. "19 tries this season and looked like he was going to get his 20th there. But Thomas getting across to stop the try, but at what cost to Halifax, and winger Lachlan Walmsley still receiving attention from the Halifax doctor. Well, some of the corner surface around the ground with no grass on, and it'll be quite tough. There's been no water on it for a lot of weeks. We're still checking out the neck and head of Walmsley, the medical staff. Halifax significantly increasing their lead since the start of the second half with 18 points, and Lachlan Walmsley being helped away. But it's good that he's back on his feet. There's the head and neck being supported, because it was quite a crash, and you don't quite know what happens when the impact of the body when it hits the ground. It's well, the shock can go anywhere on the body. Standing ovation for Lachlan Walmsley. Well, that'll be if it's a HIA, there's a chance, however remote possibly, of Lachlan Walmsley coming back to the field, but the way he's left the field, I'm not quite sure that'll be on for this week. Walker looking for a way through, tackled by Arundel. Thompson runs at the Halifax defence but has little impact. Walker gets the ball away. Workington looking for a possibility down that far side, and Clegg is tackled, with the referee indicating that this is the last one. So Thomas will kick across field. Well, Alex Young, you'd bet on catching that one with the size of him, but can Halifax manage to hold him out? They have done. They've held him up on his back, and not only that, they've took him back into the field of play, so they won't have to defend the dropout under the post. Can they take the ball away from their own line? Woodburn Hall takes it 10 metres away. Davies slowing down the play of the ball. Woodburn Hall has still gained Halifax some big metres with that run, even though Davies has got back. Another injury on the pitch, this time to a Workington player, so the referee has stopped the clock. Marcus O'Brien being led from the field. Maybe a dislocation. It looked like he was holding on to one of his hands, his left hander. Well, it seems to be moving a bit now. Referee waiting while everybody that is not part of the game is off the field. Ball comes loose. Referee says it's a knock on. It's high fives all round for Workington. Midway through the second half. And the scoring rate has slowed down for the moment for Halifax, and will do for the next set of 6, which will belong to Workington. Thomas takes over the 40 metre line. Workington still determined to try and have a say in this game. A bit too late to have much of a say. Thompson will take it up almost the Halifax 20 metre line. Evan Simons at actually now gets it to Hutchins, and Hutchins, well, he runs strong, but he doesn't really get very far, with Carlwood and Fairbank making the tackle. Thomas drills it to the corner. Ball has come back to Workington, and they have 6 more tackles, with Clegg as the first opportunity, but Halifax bring him down 8 metres out. Hutchins will have another go. Good strong left drive by John Hutchins, but the Halifax defence is there on the line. Would be caught out as a little bit bunched together, but that's helped Halifax's cause. The fact that Alex Young is shrugging his shoulders and his hands out on this side here, knowing that there's a possibility there, because Halifax forwards have been drawn to the middle. Thomas gets it away, and that is a knock on by Matthew Henson, and another Workington attack falls apart inside Halifax red zone. And Halifax will be given the ball back by Workington. Running the angles, Henson. I'm not sure they would have any advantage, because they were 2-on-2 on the outside. Halifax had the defensive numbers, but Henson just couldn't keep hold of the pass from Thomas. Jouffre to Arundel, and he gets to the 30 metre line, and there were lots of bodies running, lots of lines there for Halifax. Fenton Rogers showing the strength in the drive again, takes him over the 40 metre line. McComb has found a way through. Can he beat Thomas? It's referee trying to get out of the way. He's beat referee as well there, as the Workington fullback as Zach McComb. Long angled run into good territory again, and Saltonstall has been watched by the Workington defence to go round behind the post. Well, he's only got 5 this season as James Saltonstall with that one. But boys, he covered some metres when he's run the ball back for Halifax, or when he's run it up from defence. Well, the Workington defence made it easier for Saltonstall. They should have watched him go around to try to make the kick easier for Keys. But Zach McComb's run there. The referee looked like he wasn't going to get out of the way in time there. But McComb taking Halifax into a strong position of advantage. The ball whipped out wide. And the cut out pass to Saltonstall, who was unmarked on the far side. Able to carry the ball probably 15 metres in field, and he ought to have been. Only Thomas alert enough to try and stop him. Joe Keys, another 2. Another 2 points for Halifax. Well, there's still 16 minutes to go. The rate Halifax were scoring at the opening of the second half. Can they build up to that sort of momentum again as Saltonstall takes it forward into a 3-man tackle? And we're not keen to get him, let him play the ball quickly. Keys to Matty G, and Matty G taking on all comers there and falling eventually 2 metres short of halfway. And Zach McComb's off again, and McComb gets it to Fairbank. The pass was good. Unfortunately, the take by Jacob Fairbank just not up to the quality of pass applied to him. Well, there's no denying McComb's causing problems for this Workington defence as the game moves into the later stages. And I think Workington will be glad that Halifax put the ball down. Joseph Brown, 5 metres inside the Halifax half. Curtis Davis takes the pass from Evan Simons. Curtis Davis, a man that could be playing for Wales in the World Cup in October. Well, they're edging closer towards that Halifax line are Workington, determined to leave West Yorkshire with more than 1 try. Thomas, little flick pass behind him into the hands of Thompson, but Thompson can't really make any real progress. Kick to the corner. Well, the chase by Clegg. Well, he made a dive it, but I think the ball was already out of play there when Clegg decided to dive for it. Here goes McComb again, pushed away from the first and second defenders, and McComb has made it up to the 40 metre line and beyond, still going. And there's another man down for Workington. And Connor Fitzsimmons is looks like Greco-Roman wrestling there with Zach McComb. Eventually lets him get up to play the ball, and Halifax get to within a metre of halfway. Colcott driving forward, being pulled towards the Workington line by Jamie Durant. Kyle Wood. Oh, Woodburn Hall round the outside. Woodburn Hall back in, and Joe Rundle is going to get a try for Halifax. The scoreboard keeps ticking over. The second try for the centre, Joe Arundel. And Keys in another position of fortune where he's likely to add on the extras quite easily. 2 metres to the left hand side of the upright. Well, 12 minutes to go. Halifax going up to 50 with his kick from Keys. Well, he's making the Halifax supporters wait. Is Joe Keys. Finally set to secure another 2 points from the conversion, which he does. Eight conversions and 2 tries from Joe Keys. That's a handsome tally for the points this afternoon. 3 tries and a hat trick. A profitable afternoon for Joe Keys, who will, I think, be elected the player of the match on that performance. Halifax come again with Rogers, and Rogers threatening to get out of the tackle, and look at the power in the run from Rogers as he takes 3 men backwards with that run. Matty G does the hard work and is given a knock on. Well, risking it a little bit, G, there as he was going down to the floor. But at this point of the game, and the big lead that Halifax have got, 52 points to 6. Well, they like the big scores that Halifax have been racking them up this season, and no exception this afternoon. Managed to continue their domination of the game into the second half, and then put the queue on the rack. They've carried on 30 second half points. Tells its own story of Halifax's second half performance. And so far, just 1 try for Workington, and that's what it will stay as for now, as Woodburn Hall picks the ball up under the post. No advantage gain. They'll go back. The scrum from the knock on after another injury is being attended to a Workington player. Jacob Fairbank off for Halifax. Nathan Mason coming back on. And despite the changes that have been made, Halifax's rhythm not being upset too much. Maybe the first 20-25 minutes when they were just getting used to each other, but the second half everybody knew where they should have been, what they had to do, and Halifax racking up 30 points. A lot of changes, and players rested as Halifax go in search of another win next week in the capital. Jouffre saw a little option on the inside. He couldn't get the pass away, but pushed back by the Workington defence. And another Workington man down injured. Only falling like flies now are the Workington players. Here comes Macomb again. Almost lifted upside down by Duran then. Jouffre across the field. Joe Keys sells a dummy, goes on his own, almost fooled the defence, gets over halfway. Woodburn Hall to Garside, and Garside beats the first tackler again, and the working defence are guilty of holding off Matt Garside a bit there. Brought down, last tackle signalled by the referee. Jouffre will kick through, and here's a chance for Clegg, but just not fast enough to get away. Joe Keys, top of the ankles, Clegg goes down. Oscar Thomas, risky pass, Workington teammates claiming for a penalty, and the referee's going to the back pocket. A yellow card for Fenton Rogers. Well, I think it's an attempted shoulder charge. So a penalty to Workington. Strangely enough, the penalty count has drastically reduced in the second half. Marcus O'Brien gets to the 40-metre line. 6 minutes to go. Halifax 52, Workington 6. Already beaten Workington away this season. Now they've beaten them at home and done the double. Durant to O'Brien. Joe Brown gets it to Oscar Thomas, skips round Kyle Wood, kicks at the back for Clegg to chase, but the ball will go out of play on the far side.
Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon's share attendance is 1,469, 1,469. And today's Panthers Man of the Match Award, as chosen by our match sponsor today, investing for tomorrow, is number 7, Joe Keys.
Well, no surprise. Joe Keys, 8 goals and 3 tries.
After the game today, the Panthers players will be calling in to the new Halifax beer colour, which is situated at Fountain Street.
Arundel.
And all season ticket holders will be able to get 25% discount on all food and drink. So that's the Panthers players calling in tonight.
Nathan Mason back on, and that's a massive run by Mason. Tucking the ball under his arm, pushing defenders back with him. Keys gets it away to Matty G. It's another one for Joe Keys, just to cap off the man of the match performance this afternoon. But the initial burst from Mason making big meters into the Workington half, and then Matty G busting through the tackle. Joe Keys knows where he has to be to get the ball. Well, it's been the Joe Keys show this afternoon. 4 tries and 8 goals. Sparkling performance. £32 points of Halifax's total, whatever that might be, in the 4 minutes that remain. So Joe Keys again lining up the ball. Another kickable position, another kickable goal, and this should bring up the 58. Well, look to a slice that, but 9 conversions, 4 tries for Joe Keys now this afternoon. And at 58 points to 6, no doubt the Halifax faithful with 3.5 minutes remaining will expect their team to go over 60 points. Well, Joe Keys written himself into the Halifax history books, becoming the highest points in a game scorer. And Halifax get a penalty, so maybe there is an option in 3 minutes for Halifax to go over again. Keys dispatches the ball into touch, 5 metres inside the Workington half, and Saltonstall will take the first charge into the Workington defence. Fast and strong, Leroya. Not as fast, but just as strong. And Workington defence turning round. Joe Keys and Matty G's off again. Good tackle low by Connor Davis rather. Joe Keys to Colcott, and Colcott fighting for metres towards that line and still going. And Colcott fancies getting one himself, but it's stopped just a metre short. The referee has wave play on. That might be the final chance that Halifax have. Ed Barber leaving 2 Workington defenders in a spot of bother as they get back to the line now with the penalty which Duran kicks into touch. Play will restart on halfway with 1.5 minutes to go. Alex Young to Walker, Curtis Davis, Connor Davis takes it forward, and still a chance. Bibet going forward but not too far. Have Workington got one last say in this game? They'll be loading the Halifax attack, but let's not forget the defence. Well, apart from that one, Alex Clegg managing to dive in at the corner for Workington to put them into double figures. Late consolation try in the 79th minute.
And the try scorer for Workington Town, number 2, Alex Clegg.
Well, this will probably rank as one of the highest scores of the season after they managed to score 22 against Newcastle somehow a couple of weeks ago. Other than that, really not too much to write home about for the Workington supporters, as once again they watch their team put to the sword by a bigger, faster and stronger Halifax outfit with several changes, but the fluidity and the skill and the defensive work still there for the Panthers. Oscar Thomas will try and convert. Halifax have a men down receiving attention. Oscar Thomas misses the target, and that will be the end of the action for this afternoon. And at 22 points to 6, Halifax were probably more or less home and hosed. Certainly 1 foot over the finishing line. But as Halifax came out with big intent in the second half, and in the first 10 minutes of the second half had added 18 points through Keys with 2 tries and 3 conversions and a try from Fairbank barging his way over, and then Saltonstall, Arundel and Joe Keys with his 4th try of the afternoon, and another magic afternoon for Joe Keys with a boot. He's only missed 1 out of 10 attempts, and it's given Halifax in the end a massive win, a big points difference, 58 points to 10 against his Workington side. Good victory, and Halifax will go to London Broncos next week with changes again because they've got 5 suspensions from Monday, and London are just hitting a bit of form, beating Bradford yesterday at Hodsall, and there's been 1 or 2 London shirts in the crowd this afternoon, so they won't have it all their own way, but they're hoping to continue, and an easy win for Halifax in the end, showing how good they are and how good they're getting, and still more to come, I think, from this Halifax side. Final score at the Shea: Halifax 58, Workington Town 10.